After you're done with your pencil and you've shaded 9 or more shapes towards your light source, we're going to work on our last contour, which will be done in black color pencil. What I'd like everyone to do is get a piece of scrap paper out of your sketchbook just so you can test this out before you actually commit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start by making a small rectangle. And I'm gonna do 2 actually. Gonna practice our light source skill. So I'm just gonna put a light source here. And then I'd like you to make like a jelly bean type shape. Since most of the shapes you'll be shading are not gonna be flat and square, they are going to be organic and kind of round. Now, when we were doing pencil, we identified the little highlight because we could erase it. But with this black color pencil, you cannot erase. So it's really important that you practice as soft of a value as you can, like barely skimming over the top of the paper. And then you're gonna practice that pressure where you're gonna steadily increase that pressure. Remember the skill of layering and pressure. It's the same thing, except this time we don't have the eraser to help us, so it's really a focus on layering, going light to dark. So I'm gonna start over here in this shape first, and I want there to be some white, so I'm just gonna work around the edge as soft as I can. And you can rotate your paper. I rotate my paper a lot while I'm working, especially to help avoid smudging areas. So super soft. I'm still using those small ovals to help me blend, and I'm following that outside shape. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a highlight. Very soft. I want that transition to be very light. I don't want to see a harsh line between my light gray and my white. And I'm going to keep working my way down, and I can steadily increase my pressure so we'll see more of that pigment from that black color pencil layer on. And now that I have this area nice and smooth, I'm not gonna go over there much more. I'm gonna just kind of leave it alone. And then over here, I can start applying that pressure, getting that dark value layered in. But you wanna make sure you don't have a line or a step. So dark step, light step, so you wanna make sure you're always fading away. So I'm loosening or softening my pressure as I get away from that dark value. So heavy hand, medium, soft. And it's like a feather when I'm doing that soft area, really light value, very gentle pressure. And I just keep building and layering. And then when I want to get that black, I want to make sure I'm pressing hard enough and layering enough that I don't have any white pinholes, so no little white light leaks in there. You want to make sure that that is totally filled with the pigment. And then you fade that away so you have a smooth, gradual transition. Always changing directions, sticking with your shape. And over here I'm pressing really light. It's all about those layers, getting one layer of pigment on top of another so they just keep building. So this isn't gonna go as fast as the regular pencil because you should be slowing down and having very light values to start. Okay, so I've done 1, and I had you do 2 because I want you to see what it looks like and feel what it looks like with your white color pencil. So where your light value is, I want you to assert a medium to heavy pressure and lay down a layer of white, and then I want you to fade it away very gentle at the end. And this white layer is gonna just put a coating of pigment down for you, and you're gonna feel a difference when you're shading with your black color pencil. So again, start really light over here, working in those ovals, leaving that area white. I can even see it like the light shining off of that white pigment. And I'm gonna get more of a gray, like a creamier gray, because I have that layer of white coating underneath. And I can feel the pencil gliding over it just a little bit more than I could on this. So working those ovals, Very gentle because I want to try to avoid any lines or implied lines inside my smooth transitions. And I build this up. And one thing that's nice is once this here, I could go back and forth and I can blend with this white, but it's a little challenging to blend the white with the Crayola pencils. If you have Prismacolor pencils at home, you'll notice that it'll move a little bit easier and a little bit more fluid for you. The Crayolas don't do quite as good of a job, but it still happens a little bit. Blending that out. And then I'll keep building up my black down on this end. And this is all pretty flat right here, so you can't really see any value change. So I'm gonna use a little bit of my white, try and add some light to this area. You can see how it changes. Layer this on top, and then I lessen my white as I get over to where it's gonna be black. And this is what you want to avoid, no big lines of demarcation. So you're gonna come back and layer it. So lots of layers, you haven't messed anything up, it's just you need an additional layer. And go back with your white and blend a little bit more. Try and fade that out with that gray. Changing directions because you want to smush those pigments together. And so you can see the difference between just the dry, so it's just one layer of just the black, and then this is the layering with the white. You get to choose what you would like to do. I'm probably going to focus on just the black color pencil. I'm not going to use the white in mine. Before I move on to coloring my hand, you could practice your little jelly bean shape, making sure you really got the hang of this. And it's your call when you're ready. You can do as many little shapes as you need to before you move on to your hand. You get to choose the amount of practice that you engage with. But know that you can't erase it, so make sure you feel pretty confident before you go on to your three-hand contour, and just practice that soft feather touch. And remember, it's all about layering. So when you're ready, you're going to make sure that you repeat the same steps that you did for the pencil. You're going to shade towards a light source, the light source you chose, and you need 9+ shapes. So this time I'm going to make sure my highlight is facing the sun. And again, any pencil lines, you can just go right over the top of them. So if I wanted to shade the tip of this finger, I'm going to start really light, and I found that sharpening my pencil really helps me get those light values. And I'm going to continue to shade following that individual shape. And you can work on the side of your pencil as well. That's another good trick. So bring your pencil down, not so much on the tip, so you don't get as many of those little scratchy marks. And we'll make sure we don't have a line of demarcation where the white starts transitioning into soft gray. So I build that soft gray up first. And then I'm gonna start layering in. And in the corners, because I'm really close to the light source, I'm just gonna have a tiny bit of black. Not a lot. And I'm gonna fade that away. So make sure you're not coloring it in, but that you are showing value, and that your value is doing the same thing your cross contour did. It's wrapping around the form, not going across. So curves, bending to show that the form is round and organic and not flat. So you can see here's my black color pencil towards my light source. I'm gonna pick at least 8 more shapes that I'm going to fade in, and then that will be the end of our value portion.